everybody. I've had a few questions with regards to how I made my flat tire for the collision project. In the last video that I made, I showed that, and so as I said in the last video, I did make a video while I was making the tires, but I kept putting my hands in front of the camera. Just when you start getting into doing it, you forget the cameras are even running. So I kept blocking the camera. So I thought I'd create another one that's a little bit clearer and a little bit easier for you guys to see and follow along with. So that's what this one's going to be about. I'm going to do two different ways. I'm going to do one using a heat gun, and maybe some people don't have access to a heat gun, so I'm also going to do one with just using a simple lighter. Both of these ways you're going to have to be careful doing it, because obviously you're working with heat, and there's a potential to burn yourself, and there's also a potential for you don't want to catch one of these on fire, because the fumes that come off of burning plastic and rubber is obviously going to be toxic. It's going to stink like all get out as well, so just be careful of that, and hopefully I can walk you through how to do it and do it carefully. I'm going to move the camera and zoom you in, and we'll get started. Okay, so first way I'm going to do it is I'm going to take a tire. I'm just going to set it on the edge of my bench, and I'm going to heat it up using the gun. Now, I did make this, and all it is just a little piece of pine. It's square pine, and I just rounded off the edge of it with a sander, and I just made it so that it'll actually fit in the tire and allow me to push down on it while I'm heating it up. Now, the one thing you don't want to do is put your rim in here that you're going to be using, because the heat will actually destroy your rim and you won't have that to use. So do not use the rim that you're planning on using. Find something that is solid and hard, that's not going to be affected by the heat when you put it in and push down on it. Don't get a metal bar and put a metal bar or something in there and then heat it up, because this metal will attract the heat and it'll just distort your tire and completely destroy it. So don't do that either. Just follow these steps and you should be fine. So I'm going to heat the tire up with the gun. And you're going to want to heat it up until you see it starting to look like it's wet, or it starts getting shiny, and that means that it's getting soft. Okay, so I can see it starting to get a shiny coat on it, which means it's getting soft. And I'll just take the tire and push down on it with my block and just hold it. Make sure you hold the tire, because if you don't hold it, it's going to just simply go back into the shape that it was. So you hold it until it cools down, 20 seconds or so, and then when you remove the block, the tire should retain that flat shape, and it'll look realistic. So right now I'm just letting it cool down. I'll spin this around as soon as it cools down a bit so you guys can see what I did. Okay, so all I did was I put the block in like that, and I pushed down on it, and I just held it. So what you end up with is a tire that actually looks flat. So you can see that it actually looks flat. It's not, I mean, you can take your tire and do this with it with a knife and have it look like it's flat when it's sitting there, but the problem is the tire's gone. It doesn't look like it's flat. It looks like you locked your brakes on and dragged your tire for 30 miles, right? Doing it this way here, it actually looks like it is a flat tire. So if you put a rim in it, I'll grab a rim here off of something I'm working on if it fits. So there, when you put a rim on it, the tire looks flat. You can see the way it's all expanded out. In the back, it looks flat. And that's what you want a flat tire to look like. You don't want it to be just, you don't want it to be, oh, geez, almost ran over the dog, laying underneath the table with me. You don't want it to be missing all of that rubber. So if we want to do it with a lighter, if you don't have access to a gun, this way here is going to be a little bit more dangerous because you're using an open flame, but just simply hold it. Same as when you're doing body dents and stuff like that. Hold it away from it. Don't let the flame actually touch what you're trying to heat up. Move it all around, but just on the sides and the bottom of where you're doing the flat spots. If you see smoke coming off of this, you're holding the flame way too close and you're going to start getting those toxic fumes, and you don't want that. So be very careful. So then just hold it. When you're done, put in your block, push down. Now I'm pushing fairly hard with this one just because of the fact that it doesn't allow it to get as hot before it wants to catch it on fire as the heat gun will. The heat gun will just let it get soft, and it's definitely your best option that you can do with this. But this will work as well. You just might have to do it a couple times until you get the exact look. You can see it's starting to get that bowed out flat look on the bottom. So just keep doing this and you'll get it. I think the #1 key in model building is patience. You want to make sure that you just take your time and get all the details how you want the details, and as soon as you rush, that's when you start messing stuff up. I know when I was young and first started out, I would never let the glue dry on the windows or anything else. I would just simply start slapping it together as soon as I had glue on parts or paint. I was horrible with paint. I would paint a car and within 10 minutes I'd have my fingerprints all over it trying to put the thing together because I was just so excited about getting it together. But so you can see this way is working. It's starting to get flat. I don't like it as much as a heat gun, but it will work. You just got to be really careful that you don't catch that tire on fire and start burning it. So just take your time, keep on heating it up. Just keep on heating it up, and then you'll be able to get it eventually. So another thing that I've done in the past is if it's a bigger tire, if it's a tire that has a really high sidewall on it. There, so that looks pretty good. That's coming along. I'll grab another rim here and you guys can see it. So you can see there that that's looking flat. It doesn't look like it was just dragged down the road because it's bowed out on the bottom. So that's another way that you can do it with a lighter. And like I was saying, if you find that you have a really high sidewall, so from where the rim is to the bottom, that's the sidewall of the tire. If it's really high and when you're squishing it down, if it turns into a puddle on the bottom, like if it looks like it's going to be a puddle, that's no good either. So what you're going to want to do is you're actually going to want to cut off like 1/3 of that tire and then melt it and allow it to spread out, and that way it just gives it a flat look, not a puddled tire or puddled rubber look. So that's, scroll back here so I'm not scaring the hell out of everybody. That's it for how you do those tires. I am going to do a couple more videos on one video that I've had questions on, which I think is a great video that I'll probably do next, is going to actually be the names of things in the engine compartment and where they go and stuff like that. That was a nice thing about the old kits. So this old kit that I'm putting together, the 41 Willies I'm using for the collision project, The old kits used to actually say what the parts were. So you would cut it off of the sprue or off the tree, and it would actually say that it was the radiator, the bottom radiator hose, top radiator hose, the drive shaft, alternator, instrument panel, dash cluster. Like, everything was there. So not only were you building a kit and having fun doing that, but you were also learning about what the actual components of the motors and these vehicles were. So you were literally learning about cars and how they go together and all of that stuff, which is absolutely fantastic. So the next video I'm going to put together is just going to be a video on wiring and coils and what's on the firewall of cars, so you can actually identify it and you know what you can cut off if you're going to make a flat panel wall like I did for Project Salt Flats. Things like that. So hopefully those are going to help you out, where the ground wire goes from the battery, where the positive wire goes from the battery, things like that. And then the younger worker or the younger builders that are out there working on their kits, hopefully it'll help them understand how to do the plumbing and how to do the wiring on a vehicle. The older guys out there and girls like me, this isn't going to be a video for you guys because you're going to know most of this stuff, but it's definitely going to help out the younger ones, because I've done it quite a bit on Instagram where people have sent me pictures. They've DM'd me pictures saying this is what the kit says, and it's saying that I should be installing a magneto. What's a magneto? So I've explained those things to them, and anyway, that'll be the next video. Hopefully it'll be out well, soon, before the end of the week, and we'll just keep plugging them out, and you guys hopefully can keep on watching them and subscribing and benefiting, and by all means share tips back to me, and hopefully I'll be able to put those in my videos that are coming up as well. Anyway, that's it for that. Hopefully you can use the tire flattening techniques that I just showed you. There's probably a million other ways out there to do it. These are the way I do it, and hopefully it'll help you out. Until next time, keep building, have fun, see you later.